work with both FLL and FRC. So today's topic, safety. Not sure how many rookie teams are on here, but if you're an established team, I'm sure you have a safety program in effect already. If you don't, you need to get one in place pretty quick. It is extremely important to keep you alive and well as a team. So today we're going to kind of talk about 5 different areas. We're going to talk about safety when it comes to your shops. We're going to talk about safety at competitions. Something that not a lot of people talk about is safety when you go to do a demo. We're going to spend some time with youth protection, and then we're going to talk about safety in just general life. So the biggest thing, the safety of your team is extremely important in the fact that it can quickly destroy your team if you have an accident or an incident. I have been fortunate enough to not have a major incident. I know that there are teams out there that have had both students and mentors injured when it comes to building a robot. It's not the easiest thing to do in the world. Very easy to lose a digit. So we want to be extremely careful in how we organize and run our teams when it comes to safety. That being said, FIRST provides a great resource, and that is the safety manual. It's updated every single year. It used to be part of the regular rules manual. They broke it out now, so it doesn't have to be a secret until kickoff. So you can access this year round. It's very handy. Definitely recommend that everybody have a hard copy of it in your workspace, and that all team members and mentors know where to access it. So the way we talk safety on the team that I'm with, 1792, is every meeting we start with a 5 to 10 minute safety briefing. This is usually organized by our safety captain or our safety co-captain. One of them will deliver a prepared safety briefing. It could be talking about basic, safety topics of the workplace, evacuation plans, things like that. It could be more in depth as far as maybe we have a new piece of equipment, or we have a piece of equipment that we haven't trained on in a while. So we always want to make sure that we start every meeting with a safety topic so that it's top of mind with everybody. The best way to get these safety topics is we literally go through the table of contents of the safety manual. We set up a calendar and we work our way down. So, in the beginning of the season, it's more culture, safety, and broad scope. It's participant and mentor responsibilities. We do a lot of safety guidelines as far as what our team's expectation is of safety. But if you use the safety manual as your template, you'll definitely hit all the high points that you need to hit for your team and your mentors, so everybody is being safe. One of the new things that they just established this year, if you look on the table of contents, 1.3 is the UL Safety Learning Portal. This is a great opportunity that UL put together for online safety training. Okay, anybody that works right now knows that workplaces have moved a bunch of stuff online as far as training. So if you start a new job, if you've been working at a place for a while, there'll be a recommendation to go see a safety video or do a safety online training. I'm going to try to see if I can share this here. If you can you see my screen? Can somebody unmute and just tell me if you see the portal?
We cannot see the portal. You'd have to share that separately.
Perfect. Excellent. Here we go. All right. So this is very well put together. You all put a lot of time and effort into this. Um, we ask all of our students to go on, log in, all of our mentors too, and do as many of the safety trainings as possible. Okay, so you can see here, I've gone ahead and I've done all the safety trainings. The safety first one, which focuses its attention on first, is well done. The tool safety one is well put together. So if you can get out here and do these, it's a great opportunity, especially since we're pretty virtual right now, to have students kind of do their own thing. There has been some comments that it's glitchy to get on. It is glitchy to get on a phone the first time. What you have to do is you have to go online, get your login, everything, and then you scroll down to mobile app registration and you load the UL app, and it'll give you a one-time code to put into the app, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're in. So I have had a number of students tell me, I can't get on it, and it's because they're only trying to go through their phone, and it's very tough to do. So they need to go on the website first and get the code for the phone. So what we also, one of the things that we also do at 1792 is we have a program which our safety captain calls the safety carabiners. A lot of teams do this different ways. We do it as a carabiner that hangs on your belt loop, and there is a tab on that carabiner that says what you're safety trained in. Have you been safety trained on the vertical mill? Have you been safety trained on the table saw, soldering iron? Everything that has to do with safety, if you have proven to a mentor that you can safely operate it, you get a tab on your safety carabiner. With the UL stuff, we're actually doing tabs for each UL assignment done too. And what our CAD team is doing is they're designing charms to go on the carabiners that we then 3D print. So if you do basic first aid, you get a little charm that looks like a first aid kit that goes on your safety carabiner, and it says 1792 on it, and we can quickly see that you've done that safety training. So on your teams, I know some teams put zip ties on safety glasses and things like that. So just find a way that you can actually have students track what they're doing as far as safety training. Okay, when it comes to safety around the shop, we have a couple set rules on our team. The first thing is, as far as PPE goes, your safety glasses, you need a pair. The loaner safety glasses that we have are for guests that come to our shop. We invite any sponsor or parent to drop by at any time and see what we're doing, all right, throughout the whole build season. When they get there, we have safety glasses for them because we don't expect people, to carry safety glasses in their pocket. Your students and your mentors need to have their own. We had a big thing where, we had students that were just showing up and grabbing a pair of safety glasses out of the bin. They were getting lost, they were getting broken, and in the current environment of COVID, they were not properly getting cleaned. So we've put our foot down. You have your own safety glasses. If you show up and you don't have safety glasses, you're going to spend your time in a non-working role, maybe doing your safety trainings, or you can go home. So we are currently still meeting in person one night a week, and because of our limit of students that we can have in certain areas, it's very important that they come prepared. We also, when it comes to dress code, if we're working on the robot and we're in the metal shop or the wood shop, they're not wearing shorts, they're not wearing Crocs or open-toed sandals or anything like that. you're not planning on, welding or grinding on the robot wearing nylon track pants, because if something gets on you, it's gonna melt. One of our largest safety concerns has always been, if you're sick, don't show up. This has gone way before this COVID situation has hit. We had a situation where we had a student with mono that felt that he needed to still attend meetings. And when we found out that, he had to get sent home, and we had a lot of issues. So make sure that the students know that it's very important that if they're not feeling well, that they stay home. And our biggest thing is there is absolutely no clowning around. Okay. There's no pushing, scaring each other, doing any sort of, in the metal shop or the wood shop, or, you have to be paying attention at all times. So we have a zero clowning around policy. We have lost team members because of, skylarking around in the shops. Once you get to a competition, there is an entirely different set of safety concerns. Mainly because we do one local competition, Milwaukee, and we always do one traveling competition. So we're taking students, maybe a parent's not able to come with them, so we're taking them under our wing, and we're taking them out of state. It's a lot of logistics, and the best advice I can give to any team that travels is have a plan. When we travel, 1792 has a down to the minute schedule of events that starts the minute we leave the school parking lot and ends the minute we return, 2 or 3 days later. It's not always accurate. Sometimes I think last time we were we went to Champs in Detroit. At one point, I think on Thursday, we were 120 minutes over where we were supposed to be. But at least you have a plan, and at least everybody on the team knows what's going on. They have the schedule they're paying attention to. So when it comes to going to a competition, the big thing is, how are you getting there and back? I can tell the advice I can give you is, if you can possibly get a bus, get a bus. A lot of times teams try to caravan, things like that. It's a lot of stress. If you have, 2 students in this person's car and these 3 students are riding, with so-and-so, if you can possibly keep everybody together in the bus, it's going to make your blood pressure is going to stay low. Where everybody's at, y'all stay together. Part of the leaving on the bus at the beginning of the trip is a bus safety briefing that talks about anything that happens if the bus breaks down, if, God forbid, if we're in an accident, what you need to do, and, muster points and where to meet. Okay. Everybody needs to know the plan of the day. And again, the bus doesn't move until you have an accurate roll call of who's supposed to be on the bus. Okay. The last thing you want to do is leave the venue and be 20 minutes down the road when you get a phone call because so-and-so didn't get on the bus. Okay. Communication in this, as well as other things, is key. Once you are at the event, all students need to know where we're at in the stands. Students should never be traveling alone. They should always have a buddy with them. They should know, that as soon as lunch break is called, everybody's going to meet in the stands. They're going to check out with the mentors. They're going to let us know, if they're leaving to go to lunch, which we allow in Milwaukee. if they're leaving to go to, a restaurant at a out of state, they have to have a mentor with them. They got to be traveling with a mentor. So they need to know what if the building evacuates, where are you going to go? Okay, all of this needs to be covered. What we do is we produce a legal size piece of paper that shows every contingency. We normally I normally take a Google Maps picture of the venue, and there we mark out where we're going to meet if we evacuate, so that in the event that we do have a situation, we can all meet and get it taken care of. You're staying in a hotel, another world of different safety concerns. I know they're young adults. I know some of them might be over 18. If they're staying with the team and we're in a hotel, there needs to be a set time when you know that everyone is going to be in their rooms. 10, 11, whatever you want to make it, that needs to be the case. Students need to understand that once they're in their room, they stay in their room. Hotel that they're running around, but it's really for their safety that they stay in their room. I always tell my students, never answer the door. If a mentor is coming to your door, we're going to have called someone in that room first, or everyone in that room, okay? So that when I knock on your door, you know it's me. Otherwise, don't open the door. It's a shame that we have to keep that kind of pressure on the students to not do that. But for some of them, they don't travel much. This might be the first opportunity that they're getting out of state without parents, and we need to make sure that we're keeping them safe. Again, a lot of them are traveling for the first time, and if they're feeling sick, they need to tell someone. I've had situations where, I don't find out that a kid is sick until, way too late. And it's usually self-inflicted. It's usually they haven't eaten or drank anything because, they're a picky eater and they don't like the hotel breakfast. And, so it's very important that we're checking in with these students, especially when we're traveling to competitions, to make sure that they're, taking proper care of themselves. It's as parents, we know that sometimes our students are tunnel visioned, and especially at a robotics competition, they tend to focus and not stick their head up sometimes. Safety at a demonstration or a demo. It's a whole new world of safety concerns. You could be in a parade, you could be at a grade school, at your sponsor's office. You need to make sure that if you're going to demonstrate the robot, that you have a safety plan in place. Who's driving? Who's spotting? Who's making sure batteries are taken care of? You can't, in a lot of teams, mine included, have shown up at an event or shown up at a demonstration, and we get the robot out and we start zipping it around, and only then do we find out, wow, this room is way too small, or the number of reasons. Parades, kids love robots, they'll come running at it. Do you have people spotting the robot if you're operating it in the parade? You need to make sure that you're constantly thinking about that. You have to have room. All right. If you're at your sponsor and all of a sudden the robot missile codes and zips into a $2,000 conference table, that's going to be tough to keep them on as a sponsor. If you're demonstrating the robot in an area where you have a lot of children, you got to make sure that you're keeping an eye out, that you're making sure nobody is coming in contact. A lot of teams like to let kids drive, which is great. Your programmers need to have specific code set up for a non-experienced drivers, okay? And it should be easy to flip to. Safety glasses, are you in an area where people are far enough away that if a gearbox lets go or something like that, you know, we're not gonna injure somebody. And God forbid, you gotta have a fire extinguisher ready. All right. If you're running the robot and something goes catastrophically wrong, you gotta be able to take care of that quickly. Sometimes there's going to be times when you're just not going to have space to run that robot. You're going to get there and it's going to be too tight or too many kids. Have a backup plan. Have a video of your robot in action ready to run. Don't try to push things because you got to show the robot, right? Sometimes it's okay to just say, hey, we'd really like to show you the robot right now, but we just don't have enough space. And, here's some video. This is us at our last competition. It's easy to pull up Blue Alliance and show a match, things like that, but be cognizant in the fact that, sometimes you just got to say no. All right, so moving in to the next topic, which is very important, and that's First Youth Protection Program. There's a lot of gracious professionalism in this. The first code of conduct talks about behaviors from coaches, mentors, volunteers, team members, partners. This youth protection program, if you are a mentor on an FRC team and you haven't read this, there's an issue. Okay. Every mentor or volunteer or team mom or teacher should read through this. It's a very good read. It gives you a lot of information that FIRST is asking for. It goes along with gracious professionalism in the way that we're to act both as mentors and as team members and students. We're not gonna language is kind of, I call language the gateway. If we're willing to accept, students that are using, necessarily adult language, it can quickly snowball into, bullying or threats or things like that. So we're very focused on the way team members talk to each other, the way mentors talk to each other, the way mentors talk to students, the way students talk to mentors. There's a lot of great resources available in the FIRST Resource Library, especially for the Youth Protection Program. You're going to find parent guardian consent for team travel. Something as simple as a new volunteer application form. Sometimes you'll have someone show up to a meeting that wants to volunteer. It's great. All right. You need to get some information with them. Then you need to get them on the FIRST website so that they can properly be background checked. But the new volunteer application is a quick way to, just make sure that you've covered your base of liability to make sure that you have the information on this person. Once they've decided that they're going to be a part of your team, it's extremely important that they go to the FIRST website and fill out the proper background check and everything. If they've done an event where they volunteered, it's going to be super easy for them because they've already been background checked. But on the actual mentor dashboard, you're going to be able to see which one of your mentors have, filled out all of their information and gotten their background check. There is a video which I originally was going to show. I feel like we're a little behind time, but I would definitely strongly recommend everyone show this video at least once a year to your team. Okay, this talks about green, yellow, and red light behaviors that your mentors and students have to be able to recognize. Okay, it's tragic that we have to talk about things like that, but they need to know who to go to, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable behavior. This could be student to student, this could be mentor to student, this could be mentor to mentor, alumni. There's just so many different moving wheels when it comes to the youth protection that I strongly advise watching this. We normally install it into our kickoff so that parents that also attend kickoff know that what's expected of their student and what we're looking for. I think it gives parents that aren't necessarily very involved peace of mind to know here's what we're looking for. Okay. Another thing that we offer that we do, our team partnered with another team on a program that's targeted towards young ladies, where it's information on how to get out of a situation that you're uncomfortable with. It's called the Dead Battery Project. If you've talked to 1792 at Milwaukee, the girls all have cards that they carry with them. A lot of times you'll see them in the ladies' room. And it's basically saying that if you're in a position where you don't feel comfortable, you can look at another female mentor or student and say, you know what, my battery's really running down. And they will get you out of that situation. Okay, no questions asked. They're gonna figure out a way to help you move out of that situation. They're not gonna make a big deal about it. It's not gonna be, and if it is, red light behavior, they're definitely gonna advise you to talk to a mentor. So there's a number of different things that need to be looked at when it comes to that. Like I said, if you go to the resource page, these videos are on the resource page. You just have to scroll down and they're there. There's a middle school version for FTC. There's a high school version for FTC and FRC. There's an FLL version of it. So depending on the program you're in, definitely make sure that you're sharing this with your team. You also need to talk to your school or whoever is kind of governing your program on additional local protection strategies.
There are 10 minutes left.
Okay, thank you. Your school may require additional paperwork when it comes to traveling. Your school might require additional background checks for your volunteers. Okay. The Oak Creek School District requires volunteers that serve in school to be fingerprinted. Okay. Don't ask me why, but it's one of the requirements, especially if you're a stipend or a paid member. If we're using a school vehicle, we have to have a additional health checkup to make sure that we're healthy enough to operate. So you want to make sure that you're working with your school, whatever organization is helping run your program. All right, and moving off that, we are a well-balanced team. All right, we talk about safety in life too, okay? So when you're having these safety briefings at the beginning of every meeting, pneumatics, table saws, they're fine safety briefings, but sometimes we need to talk about more basic and more lifelong stuff, okay? We always have a safety meeting every year about internet safety, okay? internet safety, the internet's a tube of toothpaste. Once you put it out there, it's never going back in, okay? So the student that posts something on Instagram, that could come back and affect them later on in life when they're trying to get a job, when they're trying to get into a school. So we always do kind of a life safety lesson on internet. We talk about basic auto safety. It's amazing how many students don't know how to change a tire, don't know if their car even lets them change a tire. New cars don't have spares anymore. So we talk about being prepared for breakdown, bad weather, what to do. We talk about basic home safety, fire, bad weather again, what to do. So it's always important to kind of pepper in some basic life safety lessons too into your plan. Like I said, we do a calendar. Our calendar, we're behind right now. We like it to normally be 3 months. And you should have, professional topics and a couple life topics just to make sure. If you do it on the fly, if you have your safety person brief on the fly, you're going to get 3 different safety briefings. You're going to get safety glasses and PPE. You're going to get winter driving, and you're going to get table saw. Those are the 3 easiest ones. So if you just let them kind of throw one together, that's what you're going to get. A calendar is extremely important, and it needs to be kind of peppered with a very range of topics. So. All right, so that being said, any questions from anybody on anything I've covered, or anybody want to add something from their team that I'll to discuss with the group? Too easy, come on.
So I actually do have a question. It's specifically about 1792's their safety outreach. So I know you guys do that trauma kit building. Where did the idea for that come from?
Well, the trauma kits actually go back to when we split off from 1714. 1714 was working with the Oak Creek Fire Department. When the fire department put trauma kits in every high school or every school in the district, they needed help assembling them. I mean, they went from 0 trauma kits to needing 1 for every single room in every single school in the district. So 1714 stepped in and helped them assemble all of those trauma kits for the school. In turn, the fire department trained 1714 on how to use the kits. As when we split off from them, we continued the relationship with the Oak Creek Fire Department. We continued to get training on the operation of them. And just recently, we've gone ahead and manufactured trauma kits for some of our sponsors. All right, so let's say a sponsor wants to go ahead and put 30 trauma kits in their facility. Rather than buy them on Amazon, they'll go ahead and have us put them together, and then they pay us to go ahead and build the trauma kits. It's a great way of getting kind of a lot of times a company can't just hand you money in a sponsorship. So this way here, we're giving them a product, and they're reimbursing us for the cost of the kit and everything, and then additional on top to act as a sponsorship. Are you thinking about doing a trauma kit program?
So I don't really know yet. Our safety program, we're working on establishing something. We kind of don't know really what direction we want to go into. I know for a while that we've been talking about wanting to do something like along what you mentioned with like the carabiner, or like with the zip tie safety certification. I know we've been wanting to look at that. I think if we were going to start doing things like the trauma kits, stuff like that, it'd probably obviously be like after COVID, and I really don't know the direction that we want to do with that. But I think that would be something I'd mention, because I think like with what you said, especially working with like the reimbursement, like, and I guess just kind of really connects to that whole sponsor engagement stuff, which I think is really important, even just beyond like obviously like mentorship and stuff like that. But I think even doing other things like focusing efforts with like safety, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, so like with our trauma kits right now, because of COVID, we're not kind of in there to train how to use the trauma kit. So what we did was on the front of every trauma kit is a QR code. So if you're bored at work and you see a trauma kit hanging on the wall and there's a QR code on it, you go over and you scan it on your phone. It immediately takes you to the team website, and we have a page that specifically says, here's everything that's in this trauma kit. Here's how to use the Israeli bandage. Here's how to use the tourniquet. Here's, so we're also kind of, the trauma kits, although it's a safety item, it's really being driven out of our marketing and sponsorship team. Our financial team is really kind of driving the point on that. And when we go to when we demonstrations, we would take one with and we'd show it off. So it's great to talk about it from a safety standpoint, but you can also look at that as a tool for your marketing team. Any other questions? All right. Well, I appreciate everybody coming out today, and let's get through this season and have as much fun as we can and move on to when we get to start playing with each other again.
Thank you, Jerry. We really appreciate you sharing this with us today. Just so everyone's aware, the breakout rooms will be closing in just a moment, so we will be going